You know, for what feels like forever, we have been asking this one big question: how do we make education actually work? Actually, work for everyone involved. We have seen a ton of new gadgets and ideas, but the same old problems seem to stick around. So, today, let's look at a totally different approach that might just be the answer we are looking for. And that brings us to a really tough question. But we have got to ask it. Is our education system, is it failing both our teachers and our students? So because when you look closely for so many people, the classroom feels less like a place for discovery and more like a place of just pressure and endless repetition. And this isn't some abstract theoretical problem, right? It's happening in classrooms every single day. You have got high teachers turnover, which completely breaks the flow of learning. You have got lessons that are basically just lectures. And I mean, how you're supposed to visualize something complex, like, say, photosynthesis, or how an electromagnetic field works just from a textbook. The result, students get lost. So they start just memorizing facts to pass a test. And big important policies like India's national education policy, they end up just being words on paper, not real change. So what's the end result of all this? Well, it's pretty much what you had expect. So you get these massive learning gaps between students. And you see this huge dependency on expensive after school coaching. And honestly, it just leads to burn out for the students trying to keep up and for the teachers who are trying to so hard to make a difference. It's this vicious cycle, and someone needs to break. So the big question is, what's the solution here? Our first instinct almost always is to throw more technology at it. But what if technology itself is not the problem? This right here, this quote really flips the script. Technology should not replace teachers. It should increase their teaching power. It's not about making teachers obsolete. So it's about giving them superpower. It's about creating a true partnership between a great teacher and a smart tool. And that idea has a name. So it's called a teacher first approach. And it's actually a really simple but readily powerful concept. The idea is to build tools for the teacher, not to replace them, give them everything they need to bring subjects to life visually, provide some smart assistance to handle the tedious stuff, and just free them up to do what they do best: teach, connect, and inspire. And this whole philosophy is the engine behind a platform called Vidyanime. Okay, so that's a philosophy. But what does it actually look like in practice? How does it work? Let's dive in and see the solution in action. All right. So the Vidyanime method is basically a whole ecosystem, and it has a five key parts that all work together. First up, you have got high quality animated video lessons that cover entire curriculum chapters. Second, teachers get their own dashboard with all this great content ready to use. Third, and this is cool, there's an AI assistant that can whip up quizzes, notes, and real world examples in just seconds. Fourth, students can log in and watch this video anytime, anywhere for revision. And finally, the school principal or leadership gets a dashboard too, so they can keep an eye on things and make sure the quality of teaching is consistent across the entire school. When you put it side by side, the difference is just night and day. We are moving away from the old way, dry textbooks and overloaded teachers, and into a world of dynamic visual learning. Instead of teachers being swamped with prep, they actually save time, which they can then use to help students one on one. And the whole system shifts from just rote memorization to genuine, deep understanding with a consistently high standard for everyone. And here's what might be the most crucial point of all: this platform was not just cooked up in some tech lab based on theory. No, it was built from the ground up. based on the real everyday reality of the classroom. It comes from educators who have been in the train trenches facing these exact challenges. And okay, so we have seen how it works in a single classroom. Now let's zoom out, way out, and take a look at the sheer scale of the vision here. Because this is not just one school or one city, it's about going global. Let's start with the opportunity in India. Just the school edtech market alone is estimated to be a staggering 40,000 crore rupees. Now, for perspective, that's around 5 billion US dollars. And believe it or not, that's just the starting line. But because the platform is so flexible, it's not just for schools. You can add another 20,000 crore rupees to that number. That's another 2.5 billion US dollar. When you factor in the market for higher education and corporate training, and then you pull the camera back even further to the global stage, the entire digital education market is valued at over 400 times billion dollars. The potential scale we are talking about here is just absolutely massive. So, a market that huge can be intimidating. How do you even begin to tackle it? Well, you do it with a really clear step by step plan. The roadmap kicks off with schools and institutes, which makes sense. The next logical step is to expand into India's massive competitive exam space. And here we are talking about JEE for engineering, NEET for medicines, UPSC for civil services. And from there, the future is all about moving into industry, training, and licensing the content for global curriculums. And look, this is not just a plan on a whiteboard, it's already happening. The platform is live, it's getting really positive feedback from some highly respected institutions, including military schools and schools affiliated with the NCRT, which is India's National Education Board. On top of that, there are active talks happening with tons of other schools. And get this, corporations are already asking for pilot programs for their own train. And all of these really paints a picture of the ultimate vision, doesn't it? Many of you probably know BBC Bite Size. That's super reliable learning resource in the UK. Well, the goal here is for the Vidyanime to become that the same kind of trusted backbone for animated learning, not just for one country, but for the entire world. So we started this whole thing by asking if our education system is broken. And we have looked at a solution that's all about empowering teachers, not replacing them. One that's built from actual classroom experience and has a truly global vision. So that leaves us with one last big question to think about it. Is this the kind of teachers first, visually powered approach? Is this the future of learning?